you again. This is going to be the fire signs reading for this week. Lots of crazy and interesting things have been going on around my neighborhood. So I've mentioned before that Van Nuys Airport is right over there. Probably like less than a mile from here, right about a mile from here. And last night, it sounded like they were having one of those street takeovers, except it was all helicopters. So I'm not quite sure what that was about. I didn't hear anything about it in the news, which really doesn't mean much, right? Additionally, I was leaving for work this morning, and the exit that I usually use to get on the 405 at Sherman Way was blocked off, and I had to go down to Victory. Like, I couldn't even go up to Roscoe Boulevard. Is it Roscoe? Is that what it's called? I think so. Because Haskell was like blocked by police cars about a block up from the 405 on-ramp. So I'm not sure what's going on around here, but I do need to move, and I've been saying that for a while. And it just seems like every day there's more and more stacking up. So the fire sign readings today. Hi Jason, thank you for coming. It's good to see you. I've been using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot for the readings this week. I know that a lot of readers here on YouTube use this deck, but there's a reason for that. It's because it's a very nice deck. Additionally, when I go over to the members side of the channel to do the crystal scrying, I will be using this chunk of quartz crystal. But first, I'm going to clear the space using fire and our intention. This is a really lovely smelling candle. It was a Christmas gift. So, as I've mentioned before, the element of fire is one of the incarnations of the divine here on this plane, and you can interact with the fire. So kind of set your intention if you would like. And start to think about what you would like to learn about in the readings today, fire signs. If there's anything about the topic of your curiosity that is making you uncomfortable or stressed out, I invite you to blow that energy toward the flame and pretend that you are blowing out the flame here. Oh, thank you, Jason. I appreciate your support. And just kind of relax and watch the flame burning. And try not to get too anxious about the way that I'm allowing the wax to accumulate in certain places around the candle. I kind of burned it all funny. Sorry about that. So we're going to start with the fire sign of Aries. Aries. And Aries, as I mentioned, just go ahead and set your intention for the reading. Don't worry too much. Oh, sorry about that. Let me shuffle the cards over here. Oh my goodness. So many noises. I'm sorry. I have to keep everything tucked in all day long at work. And I don't even do a very good job there. And so when I get home, sometimes the little tails flap out. So I'm sorry about that. Aries, go ahead and set your intention. I'll shuffle the cards and we can see what's going on for you for the week ahead. This one? Yeah, that one's going to be okay. Interesting. What a very un-Aries-like reading. We have a lot of pentacles in your reading. So hold on before I get ahead of myself. June 14th. Write down the timestamp. All right, Aries. So you have a lot of pentacles in your reading this week. 2, 3, 4. 4 out of the 10 cards are pentacles. 1, 2. And then we have some major arcana and some of the other suits. So let's get into it. Aries, here in the past, I can see that you have been successful in a particular career. So successful that you've been doing it for a long time and you're quite established in this field. So this could be a career, but it could be something that you've just been doing for a long time, and perhaps you make a little bit of money on the side doing this. It could be your full-time job. But I see that this is something that continues into the present day because this card is upright. So here in the place of the significator, we have the Six of Cups, something returning from the past for you, Aries. And this is crossed by the Four of Pentacles. So this could be something that you're holding on to. Memories from the past. It could be somebody from the past that you're holding on to. Or it could be that there is savings from the past. This could be an old 401k that you never rolled over. I don't know how people do that. I always cash mine out or put them in my IRA as soon as I leave a job. But, to each his own. So down here in the Imam Sili, Aries, this is going to be the foundation upon which the midheaven, the goal or destiny, is built. And we'll look at that in a little while. But what we have down here in the Imam Sili is that somebody's being sneaky. Somebody is trying to get away with something. There could be theft. There could be betrayal. It doesn't necessarily have to be like world ending, but this could be somebody who's appropriating things that do not belong to them. From your perspective on the current situation, we have the Ten of Pentacles, and this card is showing up in the upright. So this is generational wealth that you are accumulating. And again, you've been at this particular job for a long time. Maybe you're reinvesting money in your 401k, or maybe this is a retirement account or a pension. This would be something from the past. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It can be, but that Four of Pentacles just signifies that you are conserving your resources. That could be energy also. And you see generational wealth here. Whereas from the outside looking in, others see the hermit. Perhaps you have been living a very austere lifestyle, Aries, in order to accumulate this savings. Not so much so, I'm sure that you're still enjoying your life, but it seems like your focus, like I said, there's a lot of pentacles in your reading this week, Aries. It seems like your focus is really on accumulating material wealth at this time. So, what could this possibly be? The Seven of Swords, as I mentioned, it could be theft, it could be some kind of betrayal, it could be secrecy. You could be very secretive at this time about this accumulation of wealth, perhaps because you're afraid of people taking advantage of you. You might have people around you that have the potential to take advantage of you, Aries. So I would watch out for that. That Seven of Swords is a very tricky energy to navigate because it is having to do with, things that are not forthcoming. And so because these are general readings, it's going to be different for everyone. Here in the future, we do have the Strength card, and it's in the reverse. So Strength is Leo's card in the major arcana. And sometimes it's the number 8, sometimes it switches with the Justice card and it's number 11. And it's showing up in the reverse in the future. So the figure on the Strength card has this infinity symbol above their head, signifying that they have an infinite source of power to draw from, and that is their strength. And their strength is not just related to physical prowess, but is also related to their ability to persuade, to tame, not by might, but by the means that seem the most appropriate in a given situation. That's what the Strength card is about. And where this card is showing up in the reverse, you might not yet see those means. You might not yet have figured out how to really capitalize on that energy that you possess. This could be something that you have done before in the past, though. such that when you are getting ready to tap into this energy, you might remember something from the past that helps you kind of unlock that secret power within yourself. And I do think it has to do a little bit with this energy that maybe people that otherwise would want to take advantage of you through your strength, you're able to persuade them that it's either not worth their time or effort or for them to take mercy on you, etc. Yes, fandom, I'm doing the Aries reading. We're now on the hopes and fears card. So, the hopes and fears for this period. We have the Three of Cups in reverse. So one thing that I notice is this focus on the money, right? Holding on to things. There is an idea of something coming back from the past. And the Three of Cups is typically a card about our close friendships and tight-knit friend groups. And where we have this card showing up in the reverse in your hopes and fears, you might be feeling at this time like you're not able to spend enough time with your friends. And that can have to do with a work situation, if you're having to work a lot. Other people are perceiving you as the hermit. So I feel like either you're not spending very much money and therefore you're not going out very much. I mean, gas is ridiculously expensive right now. That you just don't feel very connected to your close friends at this time. And this is offset by that 10 of Pentacles. So this would be a situation where you're kind of at this time choosing this legacy wealth, the opportunity for that legacy wealth over spending time with friends. And that's really illustrated in that position. Here in the midheaven, this is going to be the result of what we saw down here with this very enigmatic Seven of Swords. We see the Six of Swords, and this is in the reverse. This is a card with a lot of mobility associated with it. So the Six of Swords and the Eight of Cups can be very similar. But the difference is that the Six of Swords is more about the going to a new destination, whereas the Eight of Cups is more about leaving the current situation. This can be a pilgrimage. It could be a relocation also. And because this card is showing up in the reverse, it could be that you're passed over for a promotion that would have led to that relocation because of some sneaky, underhanded dealing. I'm just sensing like a lot of the Nine of Wands isn't here, Aries, in your reading. But I'm sensing like some very guarded energy around your money situations. Not because you don't feel like you have enough, but because you are really trying to build something and accumulate more. So you might have thought that you might like to take a trip and you've decided not to do that now. And it's going to be based on, I confess, I do not have good experience parsing out people's ulterior motives to me, it's like if you have an ulterior motive, nothing that you're going to do is really going to affect my highest and greatest good. And I don't know, that might be a little naive of me, honestly. Because they always say things like, what is meant for you will never pass you by. And so, even if this person takes all of these swords away from you, they're not going to be holding you back in ways that you wouldn't have been held back anyway. So we also have the 2 6s here, where in the current situation, we have that 6 of cups, something returning from the past. And then we have that 6 of swords in the reverse in the midheaven. So it could be that you end up actually returning to a place that you had lived previously, or possibly even the place where you grew up that you're familiar with from childhood. So those things are possibilities. The final outcome for you, Aries, is a very good prognosis. And that is the King of Pentacles, and he's showing up in the upright. This is your neighboring sign Taurus's card. One of them in the deck, of course. And we have the little Tauruses up here to depict that. The King of Pentacles is a very stable energy. It is air balanced by the energy of earth. That logic, the advanced logic that's not just binary but can navigate gray areas. And then that is combined, of course, with the monetary gain associated with the element of earth. And this could very well be you in the long term. I see you meeting a lot of these goals. I feel like you're really buckling down here. And where these cards are showing up in the reverse, in the future positions, I feel like they're potential energies that you may decide to tap into at this point. But that's going to be a choice that you make. And we're not looking at binary choices here, right? Strength is a choice that you make in potentially every situation, right? And you could have a lot of opportunities, either to go back to where you were originally from, or to move to a place that's new. We don't have the 7 of Cups here, but it's not really like that, right? We do have the 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords is an active energy, whereas the 7 of Cups is passive. And this active energy with the 7 of Swords, I really feel like in your particular reading, Aries, that is you making moves that other people don't know anything about. And that is what is going to set you up for this King of Pentacles time of your life. That's the generational wealth that you see yourself accumulating. Additionally, this 7 of Swords and this 6 of Swords, we're looking at air sign energy. So where the King of Pentacles is air balanced with the energy of earth, it's inviting you to be very shrewd, to not always reveal all of your moves. And that you don't always have to keep moving.
because of the Taurian energy associated with this King of Pentacles, because this card is in the upright, I feel like that energy is urging you to be stable, be solid, to not move too much. All right, so that is going to conclude my advice for Aries this week. I will be going after the fire signs video to the member side of the channel to do some crystal scrying. If that interests you, you're cordially invited, but your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. All right, so next we're going to move on to the sign of Leo. And this part of the video always interests me greatly because I am a Leo sun sign, so full disclosure. And Leo, if you would like... Oh, you're welcome, Jason. Thank you for watching. It's always a pleasure to have you around. You can, if you like, set your intention, Leo, and just allow any thoughts associated with the situation at hand to rise up to the forefront of your mind while I shuffle the cards. And if these things are stressful for you, just kind of gently breathe through that energy. You can visualize divine source energy entering your body with those breaths if you like, and then envision it carrying on the exhale any negative or painful or traumatic energies out of you and transmuting them. I do want to mention that I offer personal readings also. That information is in the description. But again, your participation in the channel is greatly appreciated, whatever form it takes. Okay. And this Emperor is looking at me from the bottom of the deck. Let me write down your timestamp. Okay. So, Leo, I did show you on the bottom of the deck is the Emperor card. It doesn't mean that much right now. Let me actually pull that out and look at it off to the side. I'm feeling called to pull that out as like the theme of the reading. But let's look more into it and then we can figure out overall what that indicates. So here in the past, we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse, and this indicates to me that at some point in the past, you had a situation where there was wish fulfillment, and that something came to fruition that you desired, but that is not the current situation. Not that you're not having wish fulfillments in the current situation, but this particular wish fulfillment would have been something that had happened in the past and might still be residually affecting current situations, but is not part of the current sphere of events, if that makes sense. So here in the current situation, we have the Ace of Swords. This is you making positive changes in your situation, Leo. And it's crossed by the Two of Wands, which is a card about planning. It's about charting your course. You can see that this person here has this globe in their hand and they are out surveying the territory, getting ready to make their moves. So any vision boarding, any planning that you're doing, you are taking action, and there's also planning going on around that. So taking action, planning some more, taking action, planning some more is how I kind of see that occurring. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have one of your cards coming out in your reading, Leo. And that card is the Sun card. Wonderful things are happening for you at this time. There's great success. Now, just because one area of your life is very successful doesn't mean that your entire existence is perfect right now. But this Sun card could be associated with this wish fulfillment from the past, that has created an environment for you that is very beneficial, that you're headed in the right direction. There is mobility on the Sun card, right? This child is riding on a white horse. So wherever we have these horses showing up in the tarot, we also have great mobility. So from your perspective, more horses, more mobility. The Six of Wands is a card of victory. So that could be something that's coming in for you this week. It doesn't necessarily mean that like right this minute you are seeing this victory. But it could very well be something that you are currently experiencing. But this is the reading for the week, so if it hasn't happened yet, it might be coming in soon. From an outside person's perspective looking in, Leo, we have the Five of Cups in the reverse. So people see that you are getting over a disappointment of some kind. This could be related to most sectors of your life. It would not be necessarily related to this Nine of Cups unless there has been a lot in the intermediate period between that wish fulfillment and the current state of affairs, such that perhaps there were times in between where disappointment cropped up because this was no longer relevant, if that makes sense. Here in the future, we have the Magician card, and this card is in the reverse. So the Magician is all about our manifestations. It's about our creative power. This is Mercury's card in the major arcana and can be associated with Virgo and Gemini through that mercurial association and also the element of air. Now, here in the current situation, we do have you putting a lot of things into practice, doing a lot of planning. This is a lot of active energy. So to have this Magician card showing up in the reverse in the future, it could be that all of this energy that you're putting into this manifestation will eventually come to pass and pay off, but that you do not, in the current situation, see how that's going to happen. There could also be extenuating circumstances that are going to need to fall into place to bring that potential to its fullest extent. And we have a lot of active, but it's balanced with the passive too in your reading this week. That magician, one thing about the magician is that they have all these tools, right? It's all about how you use these tools. So there could be something that you take part in, Leo, that leads to your success. And the success hinges upon your ability to harness the power within those tools. And that could be why that card is showing up in the reverse. You're in your hopes and fears. We do have the Lover's card. Now, the Lover's card, remember I was just talking about Gemini being associated with the Magician card because of that mercurial influence. So here we have Gemini's card. In the major arcana. And it's not just about love between two people. It's about the choice between the profane and the sacred. There's profane love and sacred love, right? Allegedly. We've got this angel, and the angel is the one who decides. You know, he's not deciding whether this love is profane or sacred. They're not deciding. They're the one. The angel is the one who decides, who hands down that judgment. So, with the Lover's card, this Gemini duality of things, there could be, choosing between the high and the low road. And always like looking at situations as like, what is the right thing and the wrong thing for me to do in any given situation? And always hoping that you're going to have the fortitude to do the right thing, but also understanding that the right thing is not necessarily what's going to bring you to victory. There's a lot of complexity to the Lover's card. And rather than looking at it in the context of romantic love, I look at it more in the context of its similarity to the Judgment card. There's a lot to do with right and wrong. And right and wrong as it relates to the individual, not just right and wrong in a more general sense where we're looking at morality, but what is it that are the core tenets of your own individual ethical code? Because there could be things that when you see other people do them, you think it's perfectly fine, but it's not something that you would ever do yourself, if that makes sense. And that's much more how I read into the Lover's card, and especially where it shows up here, Leo, in your hopes and fears. So up here in the midheaven, we have the 10 of Wands, and it's showing up in the reverse. You have the potential to cast off these burdens looks like you will be casting off these burdens, and it's going to have to do with this success. You're going to be building on this success, casting off these burdens, or possibly using all these wands to build a structure, a foundation for something. Because it's a progression too. Here, the crossing card is the Two of Wands, right? And then we get up into the midheaven and we have this 10 of Wands, and it's in the reverse. The final outcome card for you, Leo, is the Chariot card reversed. Now, the Chariot has a lot to do with mobility. It has a lot to do with victory. We already have one victory here. But this card is showing up in the reverse. That could mean a few different things. It could be encouraging you actually to not rest on your laurels here with this success, because greater success awaits you in the future. And that's kind of what I see here, because the Magician card, right, in the future is juxtaposed against that Nine of Cups that you have in the past. These things exist as a continuum on a timeline for you, Leo. That in the past you have had successes, and in the future you will be capable of manifesting new things for yourself. Do not be content or complacent in the current situation. I don't see you being content or complacent, but always push just a little bit further, because you will be able to attain more. Do, however, find ways to be content in whatever moment you occupy. That is what we see with this Five of Cups in the reverse. And that is the card in opposition to this final outcome card, where we have the Chariot in the reverse. So that is going to conclude the Leo reading for this week. And now I'm going to move on to the sign of Sagittarius. We just had a full moon this morning, as a matter of fact, in the sign of Sagittarius. The lunar mansions involving this full moon is Al-Balda and Sad al-Dabi. So Al-Balda is the city. Remember, that is the city, like, kind of behind the figure of Sagittarius. It has to do with things like related to fortification, but also kind of the flip side of that there are things involved in that where others might be trying to infiltrate. And then Sad al-Dabi is the fortune of the slaughterer, and that has to do with the luck that comes from being the one who metes out justice. So, Sagittarius, if you would like to go ahead and set your intention for the reading, allow any thoughts or ideas to rise up to the forefront of your mind that have to do with the intention you're setting. And just allow those things to wait patiently while I shuffle the cards. And if these are things that cause you stress or discomfort, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. As you inhale, imagine divine source energy filling you utterly. And as you exhale, just allow any negative feelings or thoughts or discomfort or anxiety to be carried out of your body by that source energy, and it will be transmuted. Okay, so let's get started with your reading, Sagittarius. That is so weird. The Wheel of Fortune card keeps coming out reversed in the readings that I do. So let's see. Your timestamp. And we will get started. Here in the past, Sagittarius, we have a period of time, it's past now, where you were in an advantageous position and it made you a target. So you might have been up for a promotion at work. You might have attained a supervisory position. You might be very popular in a social group or a social setting. There would have been a situation where you were kind of in demand and also kind of had a target on your back because of it. So here in the current situation, we have the Page of Pentacles reversed. You could have been applying for jobs, waiting to hear back about them. This is crossed by the Three of Wands. So the energies that you're putting out there will come back to you, but they might not come back to you in the form that you desire, which it looks like at this time is a job interview or to get a job. But this might be a pending energy also. The energies that you put out there will be returning to you, but it might not be immediately. Or there might be energies returning to you in regards to things that don't have to do with a job, but that's where you're really looking for that action to occur. Down here in the MMCLI, Sagittarius, so that is the position that has to do with the foundations upon which the goal or destiny that we'll be looking at up here in the midheaven, the foundations upon which that is built. And the card that we have showing up in the MMCLI is that Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And the Wheel of Fortune is actually rather a lot like the World card. We do have the 4 fixed signs represented here. And there's a motif, a round motif in the middle. Both are about cycles. So the world is a cycle ending and becoming very fixed. But the fixed signs are depicted on this card because of the nature of cycles being you can't avoid cycles. Cycles cannot be stopped. They can be redirected. You can put an end to certain cycles, but that means that new cycles are going to be starting. I think of it like how a roller coaster is always going to go around the same track, right? There's going to be highs and lows. That's kind of the Wheel of Fortune card here. So there might be a turn in your fortune. And it might be that fortune right now has turned against your favor. But that's not a long-term thing. From your perspective, we've got this single lady card, the Nine of Pentacles. This there's financial freedom, there's success. She has time for leisure activities like training falcons, right? The motif all over her dress looks very much like Ankhs, which is the symbol for life, power, the power of life. So you see yourself as being very financially stable and successful. That, however, Sagittarius, is not how others are viewing you at this time, necessarily. We have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So overall, you probably have a lot of financial success in your life. But in the particular situation currently, I think you might be looking for a job, you might be borrowing money from people, and fortune might have temporarily turned against your favor. Here in the future, we have the Judgment card. So the Judgment card, you can see that we're here at the rapture. Everybody is being called to be judged. This can be about tests in your life. It can be about people judging you, you judging others. It's not like the Justice card where we're balancing things out. This is more about attaining a higher level. Are you going to pass the test to go up to the next level? The energies associated with this major arcana card are the planet Pluto and the element of fire. So could also be associated directly with your sign, Sagittarius. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. So you might be afraid that people are not going to see you as a good person to go into business with. But this could also be about imbalance and you being afraid of the imbalance in your life and allowing it to cause you anxiety. You need to understand, of course, that your value as a person is not going to come from your financial well-being. It comes more from the energies that you've put out, and I think that's why this Three of Wands is showing up here. And the ultimate judgment that comes in for you in the future, Sagittarius, I think is going to have much more to do with who you are as a person and less to do with your financial standing at any given point in time. Here in the midheaven, this is going to be the result of this turn against your favor. You're going to start speaking your truth. You're really going to lay it all out there, Sagittarius. You're going to tell people what it is that you need from them, from situations in your life. You're going to be expressing your truth. And the final outcome for you is the Five of Swords in the reverse. We've had some really interesting card placements in the readings this week, I have to say. So this is in opposition to where we see that other people perceive you as having borrowed money from them, right? So this Five of Swords in the reverse, things are not getting contentious with others. I want you to notice something with me here where this person has this little bag of money on their belt, right? That perhaps this was a financial, perhaps this was a financial dispute. And it's ended with both sides walking away, possibly permanently from each other. I think that in the long term, you're not going to allow your finances to get in the way of your personal relationships. Whether that means not borrowing money from friends or that you will be able to pay people back where maybe you didn't before or you couldn't. That strife that goes along with the Five of Swords, because this is open combat. In this particular deck, the Five of Swords is kind of tame, but in some decks, like the Initiatory Tarot of the Golden Dawn, you see that they're actually like fighting each other in gladiatorial combat using their swords. So, to me, that's going to be the bigger part of this, Sagittarius, is that's not going to be getting between you and other people. And it has to do with the energy that you're putting out. And it is also going to have to do with this time of judgment and speaking your truth. And sometimes speaking your truth is, I might not be able to pay this money back, but I need it. And if you're able to give it to me, then I am very appreciative of that. And I don't think that, I really think that with this Judgment card is going to come in a transcendence to a higher state for you, Sagittarius, that is going to clear up all of these other issues. So that is going to conclude the fire sign readings for this week. I'm going to be going now over to the members side of the channel to do some crystal scrying with this beautiful chunk of quartz. I greatly appreciate all of you who showed up here for the live stream. I greatly appreciate all of you who watch these videos later. The timestamps are in the description box below. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.